Hey, guys and gals, welcome back to episode 2 of Soap and Sass. I am your host, Mama Sass, and I'm here with my daughter,
Baby Sass.
Oh, okay, that's what we're going with, baby Mama Sass and Baby Sass.
It could be Mini Sass.
Yeah, I like Baby Sass. That's cool. That's
Okay.
cool. All right. So we are recapping the episodes for the week of January 6th to 10th, 2025. Hey, the first real week of the year, if you ask me. It started off, again, hot. This week we had...
Pun not intended?
Not at all intended. I apologize.
But let's just say the writers, it's not February sweeps yet, but y'all coming in with some stuff.
Right? We're getting ready. So there was only 4 episodes this week. It was preempted on Tuesday due to the national funeral in the United States for President Jimmy Carter. So we will go forward as best as we can.
You say that like we're grieving the man.
Sorry, I don't know what was going through my head there. Maybe we'll edit that out. All right, so let me give you a high-level recap for the week. There were 2 main themes. I'm just going to go kind of back and forth between the 2 because they're kind of interwove, having to do with Michael Corinthos Jr. the third, Michael Corinthos the third. So, as we all know from end of last week, Monday's episode, Michael got caught in a fire. And so he's now in hospital. And this...
Sorry, you said end of last week, Monday's episode.
Well, end of last week, because it started on Friday.
Sorry, it's just the way you worded it.
I'm sorry, there was a comma in there.
Okay.
Maybe not a verbal comma, but there was a comma. So Friday, he caught fire.
Okay, so...
Monday, he was still burning.
Okay, so we're putting the comma after dearest.
Right.
Okay.
We're putting the comma after dearest.
Okay.
Hamilton reference, in case you're not seeing it, go see it. So, yes. So, Michael caught on fire is in the hospital with... 3rd-degree burns on 40% of his body, which they repeated a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, there's also the storyline with Michael and Willow's divorce. These 2 are very closely tied together. And then we had some side stories, which I'll pop in a second. So I'm going to go back and forth between these 2 storylines. So while Michael is in major distress and in this big fire, his wife, soon to be ex, though neither of them, or at least Michael does not want the divorce, Willow, as we know, picked up her son, carried him across state lines, which is an offense, a federal offense, is what we heard.
Yep.
To go and keep company with Michael's uncle, Drew, as he was being sworn in for Congress.
Right. Though, thinking about it, we should clarify. Taking your child across state lines is not a federal offense in and of itself, unless you don't have permission from the other parent. If you yourself are the sole parent with sole custody, yada, 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 that's one thing. But if you are in like a divorce proceeding or whatever, tell the other parent that you're taking the child across state lines and you're going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, I think that's just good manners. I don't know the law. I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, inappropriate behavior. So she takes the child off while she's off with her man in D.C.
Ooh.
She gets divorce papers from Michael.
You said her man. I was like, oh, I don't even want to think about that.
Well.
I know, but it's like, ugh.
Sorry. I will rephrase, her paramour.
That's worse.
Okay, so anyway.
Drew. Let's not give him any fancy names.
Willow is in D.C. with Drew, the congressman being sworn in, with her son, who had no business being there, and his daughter. Well, he has custody. He can do what he likes. So while she is there, since Nina inadvertently, perhaps, spilled the beans last week to say that Willow was in D.C. with Drew, Michael seemed okay with it, but we know Michael. Michael's devious to who knows what. So he served her with divorce papers. He had divorce papers sent to her in D.C. Willow is shocked and amazed. I don't know what was in her head. And she's so upset, she doesn't know what to do with herself but strip off her clothes and end up back in bed with Drew. Makes sense to me. I'm so upset. Why would he do this? So while that's carrying on, this is when Michael ends up being caught in the blaze and in distress. Which is quite the understatement. But anyways.
I will hold off on musical puns.
Thank you. So, just to keep the chronological timeline some kind of sensible, eventually Nina and Curtis find out Curtis got a call from, I don't remember who at the hospital. Portia, right. Oh, yes, his wife, right. Who's the chief of staff at General Hospital. She calls Curtis, who is Michael's business partner, to let him know that Michael is in the hospital. Curtis, who I guess for all intents and purposes is now Nina's boss, and they are also friends. They were in a meeting together where Nina was crying about how Willow was off with Drew. which is a whole other thing.
Not even that she was off with Drew, that she was going to get the jet and go get them.
Sure. Right. Okay. So anyway, Nina and Curtis are together having a conversation. So Curtis lets Nina know what has happened. Nina tries to call Willow, who's not answering the phone because she's busy trying to figure out where her knickers are at. So Nina ends up calling Drew, who gives her his own bit of sass, and she lets him know to shut his pie hole because Michael is in the hospital and she's trying to find Willow. Willow rushes back to Port Charles and is trying to get to the hospital. And then Drew and Nina are telling her that's not a good idea.
Drew's not even there. He was at the hospital.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay, so, right.
Nina's telling her,
going into way more details than I intended to with the high-level recap. But anyways, short version, Willow's trying to get to the hospital. Drew is already at the hospital where he runs into Curtis. Curtis tells him, get thee gone.
Right.
Best thing you can do is pray.
And he's asking Lucas for info. Lucas is like, hell no.
Nitpicky details, we're going to come to those after. So, Drew ultimately ends up in a quarrel with Carly. Willow, who is at home, and Martin shows up to tell her, fight for custody of the children. Now is the time to do it because Michael's in hospital, so file for custody. Willow's like, you have lost your mind. This is one of Willow's moments of lucidity. She says, you have lost your mind. I need to get to the hospital. That's my children's father. Doesn't matter what else is going on. Off she goes to the hospital, where she runs into Joss, and Jocelyn, Michael's younger sister, lets her have it with both barrels, which I think she's right to do. But anyway, notwithstanding, while this has been going on, and just before Carly runs into Drew, because Carly and Drew end up having it out, Diane Miller, Michael's lawyer, and basically the family lawyer, runs into Carly, who is Michael's mother. And I'm saying this in case people are just tuning in and don't actually watch General Hospital, so trying to situate them with the characters. So Diane goes to Carly and says, listen, says Michael's in the bed, what do you want to do about the kids? These are the possibilities. Carly shocks me immensely and asks some very rational questions, but ultimately Carly decides, yeah, we're going to file for custody, which they get. The judge awards custody. They go and get the kids from Nina, who's protesting all kinds, but Nina eventually lets the kids go. What else do I want to tell you about that? So those are the... So back to Michael in the hospital. So like I said, Carly and Drew are in an argument. Willow and Joss are having an argument. Sasha, who basically is the housekeeper at the place where Michael lives, but they used to have a relationship. Cook. Let me get my ducks straight. But she's also pregnant for Michael from a one-night stand when Michael found out about Willow and Drew. Sasha rushes over to the hospital, and after visiting a little bit, Cyrus Renault, who's the major villain on the one of the major villains on the canvas at the moment, Skeevy, and basically shady. One of Sonny's mob boss rivals, although he swears he's not. He's converted, and he is, an agent of the Lord.
I swear, this man's an angel of death right now.
So he gets word, or he overhears a conversation about Michael being in the hospital. And since we know Cyrus has been killing people left, right, and center across Port Charles, Cyrus races to the hospital where he injects Digitalis, or what I'm assuming is Digitalis because I don't know that we actually saw the label.
We saw the label. We couldn't read what was on the label.
So injects Digitalis into Michael's IV line to, I expect, take him out the same way he did Dex and Sam and this Sylvia somebody who we never heard of before.
I swear, these people, I'm like, Cyrus, for a mob boss, you are stupid.
Yes.
Killing all these people in the exact same way. If you don't want to cause suspicion, find different drugs to kill these people with.
So those are the main stories this week. We had some other side stories where Joss found a gun in Dex's drawer when she was cleaning out his apartment after his death. Don't know what's going to happen with that. Baby Sass's prediction, Nadesia's prediction came true very, very quickly.
We will get to that later. I'm so excited.
So it does turn out that Brooklyn was pregnant before. So we will talk about that. Sorry, it's part of the story. I'm just recapping.
You could have said Brooklyn and her mom have a moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Brooklyn and her mom have a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
It's too late now.
Jason is speaking to Sonny. He actually wants them to figure out an exit strategy for the business because no way is he letting something like what happened to Sonny's kid, Michael, happen to his own son, Danny.
Especially now that he's the only parent Danny has.
Right. Let me see. Was there anything else that I wanted to tell you from a high-level story? Rick takes up for Ava with Alexis trying to get the money, but that's just not going to happen.
Nope. Another crime boss comes to town.
Oh, and Jen Sidwell. Oh, I'm sorry. People I don't care about. So Jen Sidwell is back in town officially, and Lucy Coe is cozying up to him. So Jen Sidwell, in case you missed it at the end of last year, was the person that was holding Lucky hostage. And that's how we got Lucky back on the canvas. Holly stole his diamonds and left with one of them. Not quite entirely sure why Jens is back, but he has bought Windermere, which is how he came to meet Lucy. And Lucy, of the Loose Lips fame, is now telling Jens all about the citizens of Port Charles. To what end, we don't know yet.
Nope. But I will say this. If Jen Sidwell is in town, nothing good is coming of it. But also, how the hell this man buy Windermere? Because Windermere and Spoon Island should not be for sale.
Who can say? Who can say? All right, so that is the high-level recap. So which parts do you want to tackle first? Because I feel like there's a lot to be said. I don't know if you want to start with the small stories or you want to start with Michael and
we're gonna start with
Willow and Drew.
No, we're gonna start with the small stories.
Okay.
Because, gotta get to Willow and Drew and Michael for the end, because that's really the hotness and keeps people on their toes.
Okay, so talk about BKL. Tell us about your prediction for Brooklyn then.
That's too soon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you take it over there.
Sorry, people. So for this week, things have just been kind of shocking all over the place. But yeah, so as my mom said, we got Jen Sidwell up in this place and Lucy Coe sinking ships with her loose lips. That will not end well. And also we're wondering, what will he do knowing Sasha's secret of being pregnant? Because, well, that'll be interesting. Mm-hmm. Jocelyn finding Dex's gun. Now knowing that Brennan is trying to lead her in the direction of Cyrus killing Dex.
We're not at predictions.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be interesting.
I see.
But we did get confirmation this week that Felicia remembers what was missing.
Yes.
The day Dex was stabbed.
The bells of Notre Dame. Sorry. No, it was probably more jingle bells than...
It was more jingle bells, but,
that's not even how the song goes. I'm sorry,
it is not. But anyway...
You want me to do it again?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah. Brennan had told Joss some information, gave her the witness list from the day of the attack.
Yes.
And her recognizing a few names, decides to ask Felicia what happened. And so Joss and Felicia are going over Felicia's statement and going over what happened in that day. And while they're talking, a nurse goes to the elevator and she's holding the door open, and the dinging from the elevator is what triggers Felicia's memory to remember. She's like, the bell. It's like all day Cyrus had been ringing this blasted bell, and then when Dex was stabbed, complete total silence. She didn't hear no bell.
Right. And this makes me very happy, because when we were doing our podcast practices before the new one, so maybe one day we'll let y'all hear them. But in any case, I had said to Nadej, I said, this bell is driving me crazy. Like, stop ringing the freaking bell.
She did.
And then I'd said to her, you know what? Felicia's probably trying to remember the bells because it was not ringing when that happened, because Cyrus was not there. So I'm very glad that they did that particular callback. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you about Jack. Well, I don't know that you actually said it out loud. We talked about this before. But what is Jack setting Joss up for? Because we recognize that the WSB can't get involved. They're not really supposed to have the footage, or can't share the footage they have from the secret satellites. So I don't understand why he is sending Joss on the path. There had to what is his end game? What is he setting Jocelyn up for? Because he's telling her, I think you should talk to all the witnesses. Why are you not telling Anna this, or one of the sorry, sticking to English. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense is all I have to say there. I don't get it.
That is very fair.
Since we're talking about Jack, can we talk about for a moment storyline from last week where they were in Prague? Colette went to Prague.
Yes, she did.
And took a shot at Valentine, and now Valentine is in the wind. Nobody knows where he is. Mm-mm. And Jack is not happy.
No.
He took Colette to task, saying, well, I guess maybe that we'll save that for the other segment, but, just, what'd you do that for?
Right.
We take notes about what we're going to talk about, and then we just don't follow them.
Sometimes that's the best kind of podcast.
I guess so. So, in our jumping ahead to our "What'd you do that for?" segment,
we don't actually have one for this week, but we decided to go with characters because really,
right?
It makes sense.
Jack wants to know who told Colette to take a shot at Valentine. Because he sent her down there to find him and track him, and she says, "Well, it was the perfect opportunity, so I shot, but I missed."
Tout à l'heure, I have missed one.
We might be a little bit of Disney fans, so random Disney references in every podcast, perhaps.
Heck,
you might want to make that a drinking game.
Heck, you might.
Water.
I'll just have random references to anything in here if given the opportunity. But yeah, and quickly just referring back to last week's episode, when we were looking up Colette because Mom was not having her accent.
I was not happy with Colette's accent, and so apologies to the actress that plays Colette. I did not write down her name, and I should have done, but she is Cuban and French. I know her last name is Lopez Renard. I don't remember the first name, I'm sorry. But she's Cuban and French, which explains why her accent is a little bit
off.
Yeah, at least for me, because she's got the Latina accent. Well, maybe not Latina, but the Cuban. I don't know if they consider themselves Latinos. But the Cuban accent mixed with the French, and I think that's probably what's happening there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm. One thing that we greatly appreciated from this week, because we were really a little stressed on it, I say, and it was more so, I think, for Wednesday's episode, was just when the paramedics wheeled Michael into the hospital.
I was just reading that.
And Lucas was there and was like, what's going on? What's happening? And then he realized it's Michael. And Mom and I were just like, Lucas, don't do it. Don't do it, Lucas.
Yeah,
and
we were very concerned for Lucas.
He went and did it. But what I really appreciate is that the second he said, get Dr. Gannon, for one, because he knew he was not doing this by himself. And two, the second Isaiah walked into that room, he's like, I'm tapping out. I can't do it. This is my nephew. I'm tapping out. And Isaiah's like, that is all fine and fair, but I need your help. So I will take lead, but I need you to help me.
I need you to stay. Yeah. And again, for those that are just tuning in or maybe never watched General Hospital before, Lucas did an operation not too long ago on his sister.
Last October.
we know, I believe this is true both in Canada and the US and probably around the world, doctors are not supposed to operate on family members because it's too emotionally fraught. There's opportunity to make mistakes because you're not objective in that case. You're more concerned about the relationship you have with that person.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, after the surgery, Lucas's sister ended up dying. Now, it turns out she was killed. She didn't just die from a mistake, but there was a moment where that was unknown and Lucas was a little bit wrecked.
Right.
And so we were concerned that Lucas would put himself in that position again. Mm-hmm. And we're very glad that the writers made that explicit call out.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm doing it for now, but the second I can get out, I'm out. This is family. I'm not doing it.
Right. And we should make it clear as well that when Lucas had operated on his sister, he said,
I don't want to.
It's not a good idea. Yeah, he's like, it's not a good idea. I shouldn't be doing it. But she was very insisted. Adamant about him performing the surgery. She didn't want anyone to do it but him. And he's like, okay, but you got to sign these papers. And she's like, fine, but I want you to do my surgery. So by signing those papers, Lucas would not have been liable for anything. But even still, if something had happened and she had died because of a surgical error, he would have had that guilt. And I'm glad that he didn't cause her death, and I'm glad that the writers, again, called that out in this week's episode. It was very much needed.
Yes.
All right, what else do we have? Right. Gonna quickly bring this up. So Christina was at the hospital. She was having a little freak out because, again, she just lost Sam, her sister, who Lucas operated on. She was going through a lot of postpartum depression from losing her child almost 2 years ago.
I don't know if that was postpartum. Who? No, Christina lost a child 2 years ago.
I say almost 2 years ago because it's...
Last summer?
It feels longer than summer, but okay.
That's all. Like, which child are you talking about? Christina only been pregnant once.
No, but yes, it was postpartum because they discovered that. They talked about it. Christina's like, I had postpartum depression.
Oh, okay. I'm like, her child was murdered. I don't know. Okay, yes, that happened postpartum, but any woman would be depressed after that.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, they called it out.
PTSD maybe postpartum.
Well, there's that too. There's that
but, okay,
but they did call it out.
She was depressed. Yeah.
But either way, point is, she just lost her sister. She just lost her baby. She could not handle losing her brother. So,
right.
You know, with what's going on with Cyrus, that might happen. We don't know. But yeah, we'll see. Because also people be praying to the baby brother to help the older brother. So, you know.
People being Sunny?
Yes.
Okay. The younger brother being Morgan, who was killed in a car bomb that was intended for Sunny. That was many years ago.
Yes. But also, in other news, which I think will also be interesting, is that Molly showed up. Well, yes, Molly is Michael's cousin. You know, still her older sister's brother. So, you know, that was interesting. And I'm wondering if this will be the opening to, you know,
reconciliation.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was right that Molly showed up, even though she might be hurt, even though she might be angry.
Right.
From Christina telling her terrible, terrible, terrible things.
Right. And even as she said, she's like, her and Michael aren't that close anymore, but still, she's there
to support her sister, and I think that makes sense to me.
Yes.
And let it be up to Christina to send her away.
Right. We also, I was gonna mention Diane.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's mainly just kind of like all over the place in terms of Diane, but one, just Diane coming to the hospital, and one, before she even gets down to business, because as we know, Diane loves Carly's family. She loves Jason. You know, she'd do anything for them. So I love how she comes to the hospital, and before even asking Carly, what do you want to do? Her first thing is, she gives her apologies. She's like, she sorry this happened. She asks if she can just take a moment just to, like, you know, see Michael.
Yep.
And then, you know, then proceeds like, I'm sorry this happened again. And it's like, but we got to talk about stuff. Because she knows it's like, this is a terrible situation. I know you don't want to talk about legal stuff, but we got to talk about the legal stuff.
We have to talk about the legal stuff. We have to,
you know,
we have to honor his intentions.
Exactly. So I think that was just classic Diane. Love it. Love her, you know. And I will say this for the podcast. If anything ever happens to Diane, I'm out.
You ain't out. But that's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I think overall, I think that's pretty much all I got for the little side stories.
All right.
So,
I'm good with that because there's a lot I want to dive into with the major stories.
Not as fair.
Although we did get the explanation about why Ava has no cash.
We did get that explanation.
Because we were very confused.
We were.
Ava is a Jerome, so another mob family, has plenty of money in her own right, and we could not understand how losing the divorce settlement, from Nicholas would put her in such dire straits. And it turns out she was intending to move the gallery to another location, and what she did was she bought the other location before selling the first. So now she is cash poor.
Right.
And this is why she is so desperate to get her divorce settlement back.
Right, because she's paying 2 mortgages on 2 buildings.
Commercial buildings.
Mm-hmm. And she was hoping to have the second building renovated and all set up. And then she could start working on selling this first building to then move stuff into the second building.
Right.
But, well, life happened and people fell out windows and yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
So again, so Ava's Brooks, and she's trying to get her money, and she asked Rick to intervene on her behalf to talk to Alexis, because she's like, Rick, you know Alexis, you were married to Alexis, you can appeal to her better half. And she said, Rick, kick rocks.
That's what she said.
So Ava ain't getting no money.
Yes. And I think that covers really all the minor stories, other than Trina being worried about Joss. And that was really a very, very minor story on Wednesday.
It was.
Trina was worried about Joss doing something crazy.
Which we know she will do.
And we know Joss is a mad head. And she has a gun in her possession. She has bullets that she was looking at. So Trina was not wrong.
Nope.
But Joss looked her dead in the face and said, I'm good thank you for being a friend, but I'm going to travel down the road.
Right.
And I'm not coming back.
And again. I will say this, what I really like, because, oh my goodness, Wednesday's episode had me just like, ugh. So, as we know, Monday, fire. Michael burning. I'm sorry, had to refrain from the puns. So, Carly's at dinner with Brennan. They have time to have a whole meal, have drinks, and then Mr. Manager Man, concierge man comes on the phone and is like, yeah, we need this delivery, but you can't get through because
let's put a pin in that.
Oh, you want to talk about the peoples?
I want to put a no, I don't. But why don't you go ahead and talk about the peoples instead of the manager? I want to come back to the manager afterwards.
Okay. So
this almost ruined the rest of the week for us. This girl has an eye. I don't know how she picks up on these things because it went right by me, but when she called it out, I was done.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so at the restaurant where Carly and Brennan are having dinner, behind Carly is a man and a woman having dinner. I don't know if they're on a date. I don't know if it's a business meeting. Don't know what, but they're having dinner.
You don't know if it's a date?
Okay, it might
based
be a
on
date.
What transpired?
Okay,
it had to be a date. But these are some background actors that we are talking about here.
Right, and so in some scenes, like at Bobby's, you have background actors, and they actually look like they're having a conversation, regardless of the fact whether they're actively vocalizing the conversation, which I highly doubt because the mics pick up everything. The lips are moving. People, I don't know. Oh my goodness. These background actors, while they were doing such a good job at what they did in terms of facial expressions, because that's something we do. Their lips were not moving, and it was bugging me so much because I'm just like, my girl just eyed up this man, just like giving looks, and this man
as
is like,
if he was on the menu,
right? And this man just looking back at her, kind of shifting his eyes in a way, and I'm just like, can you please move your lips? You don't actually have to talk, but I need you to move your lips to make it look like you're actually having a conversation.
Right. But this is what Deja had said to me at the time. She said, you know how we do in the Caribbean culture. We will be across the room from somebody.
Not even the Caribbean culture. I've seen it in non-Caribbean cultures that people do this too.
Okay. Could be.
Oh my God.
I don't know. But you'll be across the room from your friend. Mm-hmm. And you want to convey a message, but you are not going to say anything. Mm-mm. And so your eyes are moving all which way, kind of like, you see that girl over there? And so you side-eye the girl, so your friend turns her head and looks, or you see that guy over there. Right. And then it's like, ooh, whatever. And your face is just making all these expressions, but you have not once said a word.
Not a word.
Your lips have not moved. You have not unpicked your teeth to say anything. It's just the whole face. And you can have a 10-minute conversation, and neither one of you has said a word yet. Your lips have not moved.
But you know exactly what y'all saying.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what happened with these background actors.
It was hilarious.
I'm just like, wow, that's another form of acting on a level. And I just can't.
It was fantastic. I could not focus. Once she called it out, once Baby Sass called that out, I could not focus on what was happening anymore.
I couldn't. So, we got to commercial break, and I lost my mind because I couldn't.
So if you still have it on your PVR, if you have access to abc.com and it's still available, Wednesday, January 8th, this is the episode you want to go look at. This meal between Carly and Jack Brennan in the Port Charles Grill.
Anytime the camera is fully panned to Carly, focus on the two people in the back behind her and just watch.
Huh.
Wow.
Okay, so that was just definitely a side path. Okay. Now, let's go into some stupid details.
Yes.
Because some of these things...
Yes.
And most of them fall under what had me hot this week. Again, no pun intended because of Michael being on fire. It's just terrible. Terrible. That was the tragedy that happened.
Oh, yikes.
First and foremost, Michael's on fire. Yes. We already talked about Michael does not know how to stop, drop, and roll. No. That's fine. Whatever.
Oh, this kind of fall into the continuity?
I don't know if it's continuity. I guess so. But it made me mad. Because suddenly, Jason came in, or Super Jason as my friend likes to call him. Jason came in with a blanket. Jason came in from the hallway with a blanket. Where was this blanket? Who keeps blankets in the hallway? I don't understand what happened.
No.
That did not make sense.
And in this case, there was definitely no time for him to bust into his apartment down the hall to grab a blanket.
You mean Dante's place? But yeah, okay, exactly. Because That's where, well, okay, Dante's not living there right now. He's at
That
the
and the
Quartermains.
fact that it belongs to Sam, not.
I'm just saying, it's not Jason's place.
Either way.
But, right? So that's my question. Where did Jason get a blanket? Make it make sense. Sorry, let me say that properly. Make it make sense. Next was that Carly had to overhear, exactly as you started to say. Carly was in Port Charles Grill. Mm-hmm. The maitre d', the manager.
I don't think it was Port Charles Grill, but I don't know what restaurant it was. Because Port Charles Grill was where Alexis and Diane were having lunch.
Yes.
Yeah, where
that's the same place that Carly and Jack were.
Oh, sorry, that's unclear because again, different sets.
The set looked the same. Different angles. There were different parts of the restaurant, but it's the same place.
Wow, you must have a different color scheme for that part of the restaurant then, because
right?
every time I see that part, I think it's a
different day, I think, as well. But
for sure, but I just because again, different background and everything, I'm like, I assume
yes,
it's a different place.
And in fact, Alexis and Diane were, I believe, were sitting at the same table that Carly and Jack had been sitting at because that's where most people are sitting when they do the thing. But I could be wrong.
They were not because they were
one row over.
No,
right.
they were sitting by the door.
Okay, well, anyway, nobody cares, so we'll just move on. But this is the thing. So this is where Carly and Jack were, and then
because Lucas had to skip out.
The manager comes in. And he's talking about a delivery that did not happen because the Harborview Towers are on fire. And I'm mad because how did Carly have to hear that from the manager and not Jason or Sonny? I understand that your attention was on Michael, but by this point, you have arrived at the hospital while you were driving over there, or perhaps riding in the ambulance, though I doubt it. You couldn't pick up a phone and call somebody?
No.
That is the mother of the young man. You can't. Listen, I will rip your face off. If I'm the mother and I hear it, I will rip your face off. Just so you know. Okay, so that had me hot.
Oh, before you continue.
Please.
Right. So, continuing with that. So obviously, as we mentioned, Jack Brennan's with Carly when she gets the news. So, he's obviously with her when they get to the hospital. Oh,
don't say it. That's another part.
Gosh dang it, Mom.
I know, but I don't want to give everything away. I know where you're going, though. I know where you're going.
She likes to ruin my fun, y'all.
That's what a mom is all about. So, let me see. The other thing that had me hot, there was so much in this storyline to have me hot.
Oh.
How Drew left DC and went straight to the hospital, sir, what is on your mind?
To be honest, I'm glad he went straight to the hospital rather than go with Willow. Honestly.
He has a home. And I assume he stopped at it because he must have dropped his kid off.
The home that he is no longer allowed in because he slept with Michael's wife?
Did they actually kick him out of the
I'm pretty sure they're not going to let him back in.
Ah, okay.
The only reason they're ever letting him in that house is for Scout.
All right, fair. But he had a home before there,
right? But after, but then he moved in with Scout, and then after that, he's like, "Oh, we're staying at this hotel," so I assume he's still at that hotel.
Okay, well then he must have dropped Scout at the hotel. I don't know where.
No, I think Scout would have actually gone back to the Quartermains.
He had places he could go that were not the hospital.
And
I don't know why he went there.
Willow.
I don't know why he went there. I don't.
Because he's like, it's still my nephew.
He's my nephew. You slept with his wife. You guys are having the fight of all fights. Why are you there?
As Curtis then points out, why are you here?
Yes. Yep. Then the other thing that had me hot a little bit, well, not a little bit. There was a lot. So after...
This week was intense.
It was intense. After Curtis tells Drew what for and says basically the best thing you can do for Michael right now, if you're not going to leave, is pray.
I feel like I said something to that effect. I don't remember.
I know what you said, and I'm going to cue you up. You ready? Here it comes. So Drew goes over to the chapel to pray for Michael, where Carly is already there praying for Michael.
Oh, right.
And so Drew opens the door, sees Carly, and I looked at this scene, and I was like, sanctuary! That's all you can ask for, Drew. Don't open your mouth to say anything else. You're just looking for sanctuary because this is a bad scene finna happen.
But thing is, it's like, can you really ask for sanctuary while the woman who might beat you up is in the chapel?
I'm telling you what, did I mention rip your face off? Okay. But Carly must be numb or something because they actually kind of start to talk, and Drew says the one wrong thing. I'm so sorry about what happened to Michael.
But you know it's your fault.
Well, that came after, right? Set Carly off. Like, what are you doing here? What are you sorry for? I'm sorry that Michael's in pain. Oh, okay, because you got 87 things you should be sorry about before you worry about him in pain. And then Drew, made me want to curse bad words. Exactly as you said. Tells Carly it is her fault that her son is in the hospital. Because that's what you want to tell a mother who's grieving or upset, right? You just anybody else would feel stink in their soul to say something like that. But Drew just flies out of his mouth like spittle. He don't care. He just...
Yeah, Drew was foolish on that one.
He really was. He didn't know how to read the room, and to tell Carly that it was her fault that Michael was injured it's unconscionable. Like, who says that to somebody?
It's on the same level as what Christina said to Molly. I'm like, these people just like low blows hidden below the belt. It's just, I get this is a soap opera, but yo. And
hey, if there's something that, as you go through life, we find out, nobody will hurt you more than somebody who's supposed to love you.
Yep.
Or who was supposed to have loved you at one point. Yep. So, Drew's talking about, I loved you. I used to love you, blah, 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 blah. Well, apparently not enough.
Nope.
Like, it just, Drew is the one who ended the relationship with Carly. It was not Carly who ended the relationship with him.
And then, again, what I found hilarious is he's like, I went to prison for you. It's
right? That's what I'm saying.
Like, she didn't ask you to. She was willing to go to prison herself.
Yep.
You just took the blame because you thought you were going to get a slap on the wrist.
Exactly.
So, it's like a lot of the choices that he makes, he does because he thinks he's entitled to a lesser consequence.
Oh, you saying he's trying to benefit from his privilege?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. And then when it doesn't play out the way he expected,
he lashes out.
And there's something to be said for expectations.
Right.
Not everybody will buy into them, so there you go.
No. Can I talk about the Joss Brennan thing now? Because you stopped me.
No.
Mom!
I'm going to say no because I think you're going to go and step on my toe. We were talking about things that had us hot.
Right. Drew will always have me hot.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. This didn't have me hot, but it did hurt my soul a little bit.
Uh-oh.
One, I love how, like, Chase is with Anna and then gets a text. He's like, oh, I gotta go do something. And she's like, okay. I don't remember what he said he had to do. Like, I'm needed to...
I think he said I'm needed at the precinct or something like that.
Or it's like a something to that effect, or like a city
or
thing.
Or a family thing. Or
something.
Yes, I don't remember what he said either.
And then, next thing you know, he's there with Diane and a social worker.
Yep.
At Nina's apartment. And I was just like, oh, Diane. I'm like, oh, Diane. Again, you and Martin both got the same mindset going on. Fight for full custody, especially right now. But it's like, oh. And then Chase being the one having to be there is like, really? You couldn't call a random officer?
No, and I think it's very good that they didn't call a random officer.
No, that's true,
because the kids know Chase. Exactly. They live with him. They know who he is.
That is fair.
So I think that was the right thing to do. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm very much agreeing with Nina. It's like they don't even know what's going on with their dad, and for like Chase to show up with a random woman and Diane, and even then I don't think they know Diane. It's like,
oh, you agree with Nina on that?
I do, just because it's like it's like you're taking the kids, but it's like the kids don't know what's going on. It's like Wiley was in DC just a matter of hours ago, and then is probably woken up by his mom in a hurry, being like, Wiley, we need to go. She's still probably trying to be calm about it, but it's still kind of like, we need to go. And again, he might have been half asleep at the time, but even
Who
still.
knows? Adding to the story.
And then he's back home with his little sister, and they can't have screens. So, and Wiley's kind of smart. Like, especially when kids want their screens, they're kind of like, well, something's going on because moms don't want screens. But it's still like, I'm like, really? You can't?
No.
My heart breaks.
My heart breaks for the children. My heart does not break for Nina.
No, it doesn't break for Nina. It's just, I agree with Nina in the sense of, it's like, the kids don't even know what's going on. We can't leave them, like, we can't wait for like Willow to tell them or something. Like,
no,
ooh.
no, and I because Willow is not making good decisions, and so for me, I
said for one.
Sure.
Well,
I would give her kudos for one or two, but no, I think Nina was out of place for making such a scene about it. No, I'm not going to let you have them. Well, first of all, they're not your kids to let me have or not have. I have a court order, so you can keep all the noise you want. Move to one side.
Well, I'm not disagreeing in the sense of like her not letting them take the kids. I'm agreeing with her in the sense of kind of pleading, like, please don't take the kids. Like, they don't know what's going on.
They don't know what's going on, but you know what? They probably need to be with their let's call them peers. I recognize they're not peers, but their cousins and so on. They need the younger people. What again? Nina doing what? Nina wringing her hands every minute. Oh my goodness, plotting and scheming, and she was off at Aurora a minute ago. Who was with the kids then?
No, she wasn't.
When she was talking to Curtis.
That was the middle of the night.
And who was with Aurora? With Amelia?
A nanny.
A nanny. Okay.
They literally said that.
Okay, so Amelia's with a nanny where she could be with family.
Yes, but as we know, she was getting ready to go get Willow. So.
Uh-huh. Sure. So there you go. So no, I don't feel for Nina. I'm sorry. I don't even feel for Willow, because if Willow had been making sensible choices,
she wouldn't have slept with you.
Well, sure. Okay. Well, I wasn't going to go that far. As much as I don't agree with it, I can see how that would happen. I was going to say, but to carry her child across the country,
that was stupid.
It was stupid. So no. Too bad.
All right. I feel like we can get into the hot stuff. Pun not intended. As much as I want them to be. Okay.
Are we going to talk about I don't know if this is where you're going, but the argument between Willow and Joss?
I did not get there because I want to talk about Brendan and Joss, but you won't let me. So rude. But yeah, that conversation. Oh. Let me just say, when I'm expecting people to slap people, nobody gets slapped. And it pisses me off. Because these are slap-worthy moments.
They are slap-worthy moments.
I was like, when the tape came out, I was expecting Carly to slap Drew or even Willow. More than likely Willow. When Carly confronted Drew again in the chapel, I was expecting slaps to be given. Nothing. Now, when you have this tiff of sisters-in-law fighting out over Michael and all this bacchanal and foolishness, no slaps.
I would just put a little, not a pin, I don't even know what. I'm going to insert a comment there where it's a good thing that Carly did not slap Drew, because Drew is so off his head. He might have hit her back, and then that would have been all kind of...
No, but that I would have needed. I would have needed it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Yes.
No, please.
Because already...
I don't want to see that.
Because already, Sonny's like, oh no, Drew's going to get what's coming to him. So if you slap Carly on top of it...
Oh my goodness.
Because now we can probably get another brawl with Jason and Drew. And also on top of that, who knows? But we also based off what happened when Jason got into a fight with Drew. Drew can't fight.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. You are a Navy SEAL, and I know this is a big tangent, but speaking of things that had me hot, a Navy SEAL, which has some ridiculous amount of training, and you have Jason's memories from a really stupid storyline where they implanted Jason's memories in Drew's brain, and you can't beat him? You can barely land a punch? Sir, color me disappointed. Disappointed. No. But coming back to what we were talking about, or as we say in Quebec, coming back to our sheep, Willow and Joss, they were landing some verbal blows. Willow did not look shocked enough for my liking for the things that were being said to her.
Nope. But Joss basically vocalized what Michael said to his father. That, she's in a cult and Chase saves her. She falls in love with Chase. Then there's the whole Wiley situation. She falls in love with Michael. Now got Drew saving her life because she finds her donor. Falling in love with Drew. So now she says, so who's going to save you next that you're going to fall in love with?
Yes, there's that. And what does Willow strike back with? You, of all people, should understand how a situation like this can happen. And I was just like, because as we recall,
I wish I could put that cat from Puss in Boots movie, just like, oh, cat.
Oh my goodness.
That might be the clip I put, that small little clip I
of
put
the thumbnail?
No, not even the thumbnail. Because I can put little clips for the episode. So that might be the little clip that I put on the episode. Just, oh.
Well, there's a lot of that in this episode, so why not? But she was referring to Joss having been in a relationship with Cameron, who's no longer on the canvas. He went off to school, mainly because Joss ended up cheating on him. That relationship was in a lot of trouble already. We won't really talk about that. But before Joss broke up with Cameron, she was already in bed with Dex, which I don't think she was really expecting to be, but that's what happened. And I guess she must have confided in Willow for Willow to be able to throw that in her face. Situation's completely different. As Joss pointed out, I was not married.
Nope, I did not have kids.
So, yeah, it was a little bit savage of Willow, which I want to give her the minimalist respect for, because Willow is usually taking blows from people. So that she fought back, great. Don't like how she fights. That was a little bit dirty. Yeah. I don't think Joss deserved that. But although Joss was coming at her, so
I feel like there was something else that was going on. It was probably in the apartment with Nina and Martin, when Martin brought up something and Willow stood her ground about not getting custody.
Yes.
It was probably that where you also said, it's like, this is the Willow I like. Mm-hmm. Can I finally bring it up?
See, I'm giving you a look. Okay, fine. Go on.
All right.
Which means I'm going to change what category we're in.
Hold on. So, back to Brennan and Joss, as my mom has been thwarting me for the last 20 minutes. So, Brennan and Carly get to the hospital. They find out what's going on. And then immediately, I stop focusing on Carly talking to Sonny and Jason, and I just see a brown coat feather off into the distance. I said, what? Where's he going? As Brennan races out of the hospital. I said, oh, never mind. He's probably going to go to the WSB and do some digging. Next thing you know, we get commercials, yada, 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 and we're at Joss and back in Dex's apartment, packing the bag, and all you hear is bang, bang, bang. I was like, oh, there's Brennan. And Mom was like, what? And then the door opens, and there's Brennan, and he says, Joss, you need to come with me quickly. And then you know they're at the hospital. Brennan for the win. Brennan for the win.
And that is why Jack Brennan is my hero of the week. Which is why I was like, not yet. We're not at the hero of the week section. So hero of the week for me, Jack Brennan. For exactly that reason. Do you have a hero of the week?
I do have a hero of the week, and this falls into what I have been holding back for this podcast, what has had me excited all week. My hero of the week is Lois. And the reason for this is because and I will say this now, every time Lois is on the canvas, she will be my hero of the week. Unless something really stupid happens, she will be my hero of the week. And the reason for her being my hero of the week this week is because Brooklyn had been upset again because of her not being pregnant, and so she's upset. Her and her mom are talking, and to which Brooklyn reveals, she says, why is it so hard for me to get pregnant now? Because I wasn't trying to get pregnant before, and I did. And we were like, and I said, my prediction was right. Brooklyn has been pregnant before. We got so many details on that. That Brooklyn was in high school, that she was a camp counselor, that they did not use a condom. And I'm
okay. I don't know why you're looking at me.
Sorry. I have no one else to look at. I don't have my fake audience in front of me. And anyway.
But that was like a dun-dun-dun. I mean, if she was pregnant before when she was a teen, clearly they did not use a condom. Most likely.
Right? It could have just been
the condom broke. I know.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, I'm still kind of like, I need confirmation that it was Dante, so still waiting on that. But we do have confirmation that she did give the baby up for adoption, so I'm still on my track that Gio is her kid. but it also might not be. But you know what? I'm fingers crossed that it's Gio.
Okay, so that's going into the predictions. You're still predicting that Gio was her kid?
I'm still predicting it's Gio. And, yeah, it just... Whoo. And but back to Hero of the Week, again, with Lois, just like how she comforted Brooklyn and said, you know what? God is not punishing you because, remember, your baby was healthy. Your baby was, again... healthy. I don't know else how to explain it. It's like you had a good pregnancy. There was nothing wrong. Just life took a turn that neither of us were expecting, but we handled it the best we could. And Brooklyn is scared because she's like, how do I tell my husband? And she's like, and Lois' sister is like, you don't have to tell your husband. You don't owe anybody an explanation as to what happened eons ago. The choices that happened back then make you who you are today. It makes you into the woman Chase fell in love with and married.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can tell him if you want to, when you're ready to, but you don't have to tell him. And while I personally am while I understand that's probably still something you should tell your husband, because that's not something you want him hearing from anyone else. Or just randomly one day there's a knock on the door and there's a random kid saying, hey, I'm looking for my mom, Brooklyn Quartermain. And he's like, what? Like, like that. I do think that's something you should tell him. He might be hurt. He might be upset, which is given. But again, as your mom said, that was something that happened eons ago. But it's still something he should know. I get it's a first that you want to share together. And he's really excited. But again, still something he should know.
I agree with you. I agree with all your points. I think Lois did a fantastic job, but I 100%, that was the one thing that Lois said that I did not agree with. I do think Chase has a right to know. And if he's going to be angry about the fact that she did not maybe trust your reaction, but not angry that it happened, because exactly as you said and Lois said, this is before I even met you, so
right,
whatever. And I think that's a very valid point, and something I'm probably going to add to my own repertoire is the choices that I made then are what helped me become the person I am today that you love, like, whatever.
Right. All that to say as well is she doesn't necessarily need to tell Chase who the father of her baby is, but see, because if it's a random stranger or someone you haven't seen in 20 years, I'm like, okay, sorry, I see 20.
No, that's no. Keep going. Sorry, I just made a shocked face. Keep going. I'm going to tell you in a minute.
Sorry, I'm like, kind of doesn't need to tell who the father is, but because I think the father of her baby is Dante, I'm like, that's definitely a crucial piece. You should tell him.
And that's what it just dawned on me. Not only is it Dante, but Dante and Chase are partners at the police station.
Yeah.
And they all live in the same house.
That and they have guns.
Awkward.
I'm like, that and y'all have guns.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I have a prediction around that, but heavens above. That can make for some must-see TV.
Whoo. Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I just clued into that.
Right. Since I believe we're still in predictions, possibly.
No, you went to predictions. We were in Hero of the Week.
Right, we were.
I have some runners up.
All right.
I think I have a lot of runners up, actually.
Oh, God.
I apologize.
No.
So, in no particular order, I have Carly as a runner-up for taking a moment to pause. When Diane came to the hospital and was asking her about what to do with the custody of the children.
For sure.
Carly that we know would be tear-headed and was like, what are you even asking me questions for? Go get the kids.
As Jocelyn was.
Which, yes,
when Jocelyn found out about Willow and Drew in D.C. together with
right.
Riley.
But what Carly did instead was, what does this mean as far as custody? How does this affect the children? Willow is their mother. Mm-hmm. And so she was asking all kind of questions before she made a decision.
And what I like is she kept asking about Willow. She's like, but what about their mother?
Exactly. Notwithstanding that Willow, by blood, is Wiley's aunt, but she has legally adopted him and is now his mother. I thought those were great questions. And the fact that she paused to ask them, I thought was great writing.
Right.
And Carly did a great job of delivering.
Right. And again, as we had mentioned earlier in the week, between ourselves, of course, like, as you said, if she hadn't known about Wiley and them being off in DC, she would have made the rash decision. But also the fact that she remembers what Michael told her the night that everything blew up. That Michael.
When you say blew up, first of all, when you say blew up, you're talking about
the video popping up, not the bomb going off.
And the she that you were talking about is Carly.
Yes.
Yes.
Carly remembers what Michael said to her the night the video went out to the public, family public, not public. And Michael was saying how he remembers when Carly and Sonny were going through their divorce and things got ugly between them, and he was scared when, you know, he and Morgan were taken away from her. So I think when she was having that conversation with Diane, she was remembering that, which is also why she was asking the question she was asking. Because she's like, I don't want my grandchildren scared like my kids were when we went through this.
Agreed. I think that is great. The other applause or other runner-up, and you mentioned this already briefly, was Willow defying Nina and Martin. Nina and Martin were telling Willow to fight for custody now that Michael is in the hospital and incapacitated, so this would be the time to file for temporary sole custody of the children. And Willow was adamant that they were off their rockers. There was no way, no how, nothing they could say, nothing they could do to convince her to pull such a dirty, underhanded move. Mm-hmm. I think that was the right play on Willow's part. Mm-hmm. Legally, maybe not. Tactically, maybe not. But just from a humane perspective, given everything that's going on, I give her points and kudos for that. I had another hero of the week. We already talked about Lucas recusing himself from Michael's care, so that one was fine. I think I had one other, but I wrote here, I love Trina's braids. Nothing to do with anything, but I love that Trina has her hair back in braids and not the straight weave. I did not like that look on her. We don't want to talk about the actor's appearance necessarily, but I didn't care for it. I like the braids. I think it suits her much better, and I was very happy to see that. Yeah, I think that's it for my heroes of the week. Do you have any villains of the week, Dej?
So far, villain will constantly be Drew just because of his foolishness. This other villain is unknown currently because we don't know who set the bomb.
Don't we, though?
No, we don't. All we know is that the bomb was a WSB construction device, whatever. And it was highly classified. And the only people who could have gotten that was people who had clearance to get it. So we're like, who would have put that in his apartment to blow him up? Which also, Mom kind of theorizes that since the bomb was in the fireplace, they might have put it through the chimney and not actually gotten into the apartment.
Yeah, that's my theory. I don't know, because I was talking with my friend, and his question was, well, who was in the apartment last before the bomb went off? And that was Gannon. And I refuse to believe that Gannon was working with Cyrus.
No, especially after what...
I don't want to believe that. I don't want to see it. But we don't know anything about Gannon. We really don't.
But
so
I just don't think, because why would he do that? Like, why would he, one, help Sonny, but then put a bomb in his apartment to blow him up, and Michael just being caught in the crossfire? Like, it doesn't make sense. And then
could it be Sidwell? Since Sidwell is back?
But he doesn't know about Sonny. He's learning because Lucy, again, with her loose lips.
Who knows what Sidwell knows? Because he may have figured out that Sonny had the diamonds. That's where Holly took them. Mm-hmm. And one missing. So, or he hoping to get Sonny and Jason at the same time if he knows about that.
Jason, okay. Sonny, not so much. And even then...
It's a stretch. I recognize it's a stretch.
And even
then, I
think Sidwell would do his digging before he even did anything involving that.
We wouldn't have seen it, necessarily.
No, but even still.
So, but it's a theory that I have. It could be Sidwell.
Right.
My money's on Cyrus. Because Cyrus is always trying to take him out.
Right. I'm going back to Cyrus as this is my third villain of the week. Because, again... This man's seriously just trying to play Angel of Death with everybody. Like, what the France? It's like, I get Michael's in pain, but can you, leave him alone? Like, okay, I kind of understand you taking out Dex for multiple different reasons. I want to say I understand you taking out Sam, which I really don't.
I don't understand that.
Because there's, like, what Sam ever really do to you kind of thing. And Michael's never done anything to you as far as I'm aware, aside from being associated with Sonny and being his son. But I'm like, the man has 2 kids, is married, like, and runs a business. Like, aside from the fact that he's tied to the mafia because of his dad, I'm like, he's a regular guy.
I don't know. Maybe the indication was in all the mumbo jumbo he was spouting, and I find it personally. My faith base is Christianity, and I find Cyrus running around spouting the verses and Bible thumping the way he is. I find it really offensive as a Christian viewer.
Oh, I feel that, especially because my latest read was, that's what the villain of I say my latest read. My last book, which I finished only like 2 days ago, the villain of the book was basically doing the same thing. He was walking around spouting verses from the Bible, and I was like, oh.
Right, and it's bothering me. That's all I can say. So, especially since I don't believe that Cyrus is reformed to
the degree that he portrays he is.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You know, clearly, if we assume for a second that he is, let's assume that he really did convert in prison. He does think he's the Lord's instrument. I was going to say we may have a clue from what he said over Michael, where he was saying he prays that God eases his suffering. Mm-hmm. And this is why he's injecting the digitalis into the... It's a twisting of it, but maybe he genuinely believes he's doing the Lord's work and easing people's suffering and letting them go to what he considers a better place. Well, I mean, I consider it too.
Right,
don't misunderstand me.
Right, but I was like, Sam doesn't make sense again because there's connections, but also perfectly healthy. Dex, again, makes sense as why he would, but again, perfectly healthy. Michael's really the only reason I can understand why he would in terms of ending pain and suffering. Because... Yeah,
like I said, it's a stretch. I don't get it. I don't know where they're going to come from.
I don't either.
I don't care for it. So...
I feel like this is going to lead into February sweeps. It's just...
Yeah, don't take too long to get there. I don't want this to be like Wiley's Paternity where it's like, are we there yet?
Right. Is there anything else before? Because I'm like, this isn't Villain of the Week, but...
Yeah, Villain of the Week. I don't really have one.
Oh!
The only person that I would put in Villain of the Week really and truly is Willow, because I think she's just completely off base and has lost her mind for reasons that have already been explained. But she gets a leg up over everybody because my favorite villains are those where they have good and bad.
Fair.
And so what with Willow being compassionate to Michael's situation and not wanting to take advantage of it, this is relatable. So, you know, I understand being in a situation that you didn't foresee getting yourself into and really not knowing how to get out of it. You've made a mistake and you just don't know how to correct it. But at the same time, you're not looking to intentionally hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So I give her a leg up for that. I can't. And the other person I would put a little bit as a villain, and again, not for any real reason, but was Portia banning Cyrus from GH, because I get it. I get why she did it. I thought she was abusing her power.
In this case, I will gladly let her abuse her power because this will lead to them. Well, okay. If what Cyrus did with Michael is inject him with lethal dose, oh my goodness, I can't speak. Lethal dose of digitalis. This, and I'm like, hope to God you save Michael, because I'm like, by now you have to figure out that this was happening, especially if, like, because like, I'm like, yes, I can kind of understand people going to cardiac arrest with burns, but with Michael being sedated, I don't think his heart stopped. So I don't think there's any reason for him to go into cardiac arrest.
Well, that's the whole point, right?
Right. But I think they'll quickly figure out, it's like, you know what, he just went to cardiac arrest. There doesn't appear to be any reason. Let's see if we can stop this from happening. Because again, it's like, if this happens for the third time, Elizabeth ain't here, as you said. It's like, so they're going to figure out Elizabeth isn't the one doing it. Someone's doing it, but it's not Elizabeth. Then they're like, okay, because as you said, Michael, the actor who plays Michael, can come back at any point. So I think this kind of still falls in my prediction is he'll go into cardiac arrest. They'll clue in that this is a digitalis thing again because they're like 1 + 1 is not equaling 2,
right?
And so they'll be able to stop him from going into a full cardiac arrest, which will lead him to die, kind of thing.
Right.
And save his life, but they'll put guards on his door, whatever needed to make sure this doesn't happen. I was looking at something which led me to my next thought. Oh,
you want to talk about Willow again?
Yes, I did, because
that was a baller move.
Because this isn't. It ties in with Drew being a villain, and Willow. I want to say anti-hero in this case because it's like she's not the hero, but she's also not the villain in this case right now for what I'm about to bring up. But it's that Martin told Nina, implied to Nina, for Willow to use her medical proxy that Michael has given her to get custody of the kids, which Drew basically said the same thing.
Yes,
and Willow's like, I will not do that, but then comes out not 2 minutes later, I'm in charge of my husband's medical care. If y'all want to talk about that, you talking about it through me. And both Sonny and Carter said, what the France?
Yeah. So there was twofold, right? And that was I knew you wanted to talk about that, so I didn't mention it when I put her as my.
I will quickly say though, Drew, how the hell you know about that? Well, that's where you were going with.
That is exactly what I was about to say. These children, Lord have his mercy. But yes, the continuity again. How did Drew know that she had medical proxy? That doesn't make sense.
Because one, as I said, unless Michael told him, there's no reason for him to know. Unless he overheard it,
which we don't see because he wasn't at the apartment when Martin told Nina.
Right. Like unless Michael discussed it with him before they got married, he's like, hey, I'm thinking about, making Willow in charge of my medical care.
Yeah.
Either way, there should be no reason for Drew to know about this.
Yeah, that was no.
Nah.
Bad editing, bad
script writing, bad continuity. Either way, there's no reason for Drew to know about that.
That did not make sense.
Because it's not like Nina texted him being like, hey, like, again, just no reason save for Michael and his lawyers to know. Right?
Yep.
And well, of course, Willow, if he ever told Willow. But aside from that, there's no reason for people to know.
Nope. Anything else for Villain of the Week? Because we are now at predictions if there are any more.
No, my prediction simply is that Dante is the father of Brooklyn's child. Because we don't know if the baby was a boy or a girl. Michael is going to go into cardiac arrest, but the doctors are going to clue in that it's an overdose and stop it.
Okay. Sorry, I keep nodding like y'all can't see me, but you can't. So I need to speak out. And sorry.
No. It's just because I thought about it now, but you did say that Jason was going to put 2 and 2 together that Michael's the father of Sasha's baby. That's not really a prediction. That's just obvious.
You're right. And I did not write that down in my predictions, but I did mention that earlier this week because Sasha's reaction is just a little much.
I think Maxie will figure it out fairly quickly. Because she did say it's the hormones, but even
Maxie,
that was...
Yeah, Maxie's a very clever one. The predictions that I did have written down, this on Wednesday, I had written down that I thought Carly and Sonny were going to fall out exactly for the reason that you mentioned of this is the second, if not the third time Michael has been injured because of Sonny. The first time Michael had been shot in the head at the warehouse. I can't remember. I feel there was another one, but it's escaping me. And now
y'all can't see me, but my eyes are big and bug-eyed when she said shot in the head. I said, squeeze me?
Oh, you didn't know about that? Yeah,
nope.
When Michael was a child. I think that happened just before Chad Duell came on the show.
I was about to say, who the hell's Chad? But then it's like, no, Chad, current Michael.
The actor who's currently playing Michael, I think that was just before. So the previous actor playing Michael was shot in the head, and they changed the actors and aged him up and everything, is what I think happened. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, there may have been another one in between. I don't recall. And now Michael has been caught in the fire. Maybe what I'm mistaking is Morgan being killed. But in any case, so I have that down. I thought Sonny and Carly would fall out over that. However, Drew brought it up to her, And she dealt with it with Drew, and so then she was later speaking to Sonny very calmly, saying how Drew had accused her of this and so on. So I was a little surprised. It was an interesting twist. It was unexpected.
Yep.
So I now do not think that's going to happen, but, you know. The other prediction I wrote down is that Ava now has leverage to get custody of Avery.
Because of the bomb?
Because of the bomb.
Fair enough.
Because it could have been Avery in that apartment.
Right,
and so
which I did say it's a good thing
Avery and Donna.
Thank you.
So the youngest, Sonny's youngest children. It's a good thing they were not in the apartment. And so where Ava had been struggling before because finances really was going to be an issue, because otherwise both Ava and Sonny were equally matched, I think, for gaining custody, although Sonny had primary custody for the longest while. Ava may have lost ground because she had been accused of pushing Christina out the window, but then was later acquitted. So now the scales are in Ava's favor, because this bomb blast has gone off in Sonny's house. Clearly an attack against Sonny. What child is going to be safe there? I think Ava's got...
As proof as one of his own kids was caught in the blast.
But this is it. So for me, the same way Diane moved so fast to get custody for Michael's family, I think Rick should move just as fast to get custody of Avery, and I think he will get it if he moves within a matter of days.
Right.
So there we go.
This also falls in prediction. I think Joss will confront Cyrus and hold a gun to his head.
Oh my goodness. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I think you're right. I think she.
I don't know when it will happen, but it will happen.
Next week after.
Yep.
All right. So that is very nearly it. I think that covers just about everything.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention in other news, we already talked about Colette as the callback for last week. Also calling back to last week, I mentioned this new soap opera that's going to start on CBS called Beyond the Gates, which is centered around an African-American wealthy family.
Yep.
I since found out that the first air date is February 24th, 2025 on CBS. To my great dismay, it is going up against General Hospital. It is also in the 2 to 3 p.m. time slot. So unless General Hospital is moving...
Which I hope not.
I don't think it is.
Because that just messes up my schedule when it comes to work.
Right? So I want to support. I will support. But it's going to be recorded. And then I'll have to watch it afterwards.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Beyond the Gates, February 24th, coming to a CBS affiliate near you, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think that is all the news that's fit to print on my side. I haven't anything else. Any last words from you?
I do not have any words.
All right. Well, then we will wish you all the best week. Be safe. Be good to one another.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with you next week.
Much love.
Much love. This is your host, Mama Sass.
And Baby Sass.
See y'all soon.